Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today is the first in some of the race analysis that I am doing um, in for the 2018 midterm elections. This one I'm focusing on one of the more expensive Senate races in U.S. history, and that would be the Texas Senate race, if you can tell by the map what state it was. Um, yes, it is the Texas Senate race between Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz. First thing I want to point out is down here is very deep blue. Um, this is the Houston area. It's lightly blue. Fort Worth, San Antonio, El Paso, where Beto O'Rourke is from, is there. But in the north, all these counties, they were talking about this on election night. All these counties are very, very small, but they are also very, very conservative. Like, Ted Cruz was winning these by like 90%. So, at the end of the day, all of these counties combined, um, and it wasn't as big of a margin for Beto in the Dallas Fort Worth area versus northern Texas for Ted Cruz. Um, Overall, that is ultimately what decided the election. We'll be looking at how the polls fared out, and how we'll take a look at some exit polls as well, taken on the day. Polls, some people don't find them incredibly reliable, but I think overall they're pretty good. Some of the questions they asked I think are a little weird, but overall I think exit polls are pretty good. So let's take a look at Real Clear Politics. Um, by the way, there are a bunch of ads in this video. I'm not sponsored by any of these, obviously. So this is a map of what the polls were saying the whole time. It closed in for a little bit, but at the end of the day, the polls were pretty wide margin, 6.8%. The final actual was 2.6, meaning that the polls overestimated Cruz by a little bit, but a lot of the undecided voters ended up backing up Mr. O'Rourke, which to me isn't 100% surprising. Um, Overall, I think if I was in Texas, I would have picked Beto over Ted Cruz. No specific reason. Um, Ted Cruz, I feel like Beto O'Rourke is a more relatable in a way. I'm not super into his policies, um, but I'd have to take a look at them before I decide. But obviously, I'm not in Texas, so it doesn't matter. Um, if you take a look here, um, there is percentages missing. That would go to either write-in votes, which there aren't that many of, or Mr. Dyckman, who was a Libertarian candidate in the state of Texas for the Senate. Um, got a little under a percent, I believe. But overall, this is a loss for both parties. My reason for that is Ted Cruz in the state of Texas, that's been red forever. He should have killed Beto O'Rourke, absolutely killed him. But it's a loss for Democrats because ultimately they lost the seat. I think Beto O'Rourke should come out of this um, pretty positive. Like I said, he should have gotten absolutely massacred at the ballot box, being a Democrat in Texas. Um, but Beto O'Rourke did a pretty good campaign, an expansive one, I might add. He was getting a lot of money from outside the state as well as inside the state. Um, but overall, if I'm Beto O'Rourke, I'm pretty happy with how it finished out. He'd love to win, but it was really hard for him to win. Now let's take a look at some Texas exit polls. I am using CNN's exit polls. They're just the first one that popped up, so I clicked it. Gender, as many people have said, males were more likely to vote Republican, females more likely to vote Democrat. Younger voters tend to vote more Democratic. Older voters tend to vote more Republican. I don't know why they're asking age a bunch of different times. White people vote Republican a lot more. Latino, I'm surprised that number's 35% for Ted Cruz. Overall, I don't know. I think that's interesting. Race by gender, okay then. Basically, black women are the most likely to vote for Beto, and white men are most likely to vote for Cruz. Lesser education is more likely to back Cruz. College graduates more likely to back O'Rourke. Education, income. Lower incomes usually vote Democratic. That's not surprising. Party ID. Obviously, Democrats would vote Democrat. Republicans would vote Republican. Independents lean slightly towards Beto O'Rourke, but overall, it wasn't close enough because there are a lot more Republicans in the state of Texas than there are Democrats. Ideologically, conservatives obviously backed Cruz, liberals backed O'Rourke, and moderates went for Beto O'Rourke more than Ted Cruz. I find that slightly interesting. Gun owners voted for Cruz a lot more. Evangelicals, very much so Republican. 2016, this isn't surprising. 96% of people who voted for Donald Trump voted for Ted Cruz. If you approve of Trump, you probably voted for Ted Cruz. Not surprising. Let's see here. How important was the Kavanaugh vote? If you said important, 59% for Cruz. If you said it wasn't, 54% for Beto O'Rourke. Obviously, if you only favor one, you're going to vote for them. That doesn't make any sense. This is starting to not make sense to me. All right. Major changes on healthcare. That's slightly towards Beto O'Rourke, but that's 50-49. Let's see here. Building a wall, Cruz, more likely to get your vote. Sexual harassment, big problem, means Ted Cruz. Beto O'Rourke. But yeah, that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what you think about this. Do you like this type of video? Should I do this for the rest of the Senate races, governor's races, or whatever? So thanks for watching this video, and I will see you all later.